All right, Shalom. It's your brother Yaikob out of Great Millstone Atlanta Church. I'd like to give all praises, honor, glory, and worship to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rucha, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the have well and do well overseeing the tabernacle of David. Of course, starting from Prophet Abba Bibbins on down to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Greetings and salutations to you, Akim, that are pushing the word in truth and sincerity. All right. Also, greetings, shalom, peace to you, sisters, you Akwath, that are in all subjection and order in the ministry, in the truth. All right. This is a lesson concerning prophecy. And right now, a current event that's taking place is the Trump administration has put a $15 million bounty on the head of Venezuelan strongman, what they call him strongman, Nicolas Maduro, which he's their president. Okay, Nicolas Maduro is the legitimate president of Venezuela. See, this is a biased article. They say call them dictators and this and that. And there's nothing wrong with having a dictator. America is a hypocrite. How about that? The people in America's not a democracy. It's a so-called republic. Where's democracy in the Constitution? It's a republic. It's a republic. You have representatives that elect officials. And even at that, they're paid off by the international bankers and elites. So, America, you really can just drop dead with your hypocrisy, man. All right, let's be honest. Why does America want to go into Venezuela? Because of the oil reserve, because of the rich natural resources, because of the investments that China and Russia have put in Venezuela. Let's keep it 1,000, all right? Let's be honest. It has nothing to do with Nicolas Maduro as an individual. It's because Nicolas Maduro does not want to subject and bow down to the American colonial ideology. He does not want to sell out the resources of Venezuela to private investors while the Venezuelan people starve to death, man. And that's exactly what these Edomites are trying to do in Venezuela. Just like they tried to do in Iraq. Okay. Just like what they did in Iraq. Well, just like what they're attempting to do in Syria right now. Just like what they did in Libya. And you know what? We're just going to get right into the article, man, because I can harp 1,000 years about the hypocrisy and the wickedness of this nation, man. All right? But more than anything, about the prophesied destruction of this nation. Thus saith the Holy Bible, man. So I'm going to get into this article, then I'm going to get into those scriptures, man. It says, President Trump's administration is offering a $15 million reward for information that leads to the arrest of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. These fucking Americans are some cowboys, man. These people are mobsters. These people are savages. Now, what part of diplomacy in civilized nations, civilized nationhood is putting a $15 million bounty on the head of an elected official, man? All right, they earlier this year in January, they assassinated Soleimani, who was the second in command in all of Iran. Only second to the Ayatollah himself. And they completely assassinated this man and admitted it as well. See, these nations are getting tired of America's bullcrap, man. And they're understanding that the American dream is truly a nightmare. All right. So what are they going to do? They're going to eventually turn on America because of her wickedness, man. All right. It says I'm going to continue reading the article. It says who was indicted by the United States Thursday on charges related to the regime's use of cocaine as a weapon against Americans. Now, America funds and is best friends with Colombia. And you mean to tell me the Colombian government has nothing to do with all the cocaine that comes to America? If America wanted cocaine not to be in America, they have the power to do so. All of the Americans, when I say the Americans, the American officials, though you Edomites, you benefit off of cocaine and drug money, man, off of pharmaceutical money. The Bushes, a large part of their wealth came from cocaine. They are the real kingpins, real drug kingpins. These officials, these government officials. Not Pablo Escobar, not El Chapo. These people are puppets, man. The real drug cartel is the CIA, the DEA, the FBI. These are the real drug cartels, man. All right. And this is sick. You know, this is really sick. Let's see what Mike Pompeo, bitch ass, had to say. It says, the Venezuelan people deserve a transparent, responsible, representative government that serve the needs of the people. Oh, here we go. It says, see, nobody believes this old tired rhetoric anymore, man. All right? The same old rhetoric that they keep using over and over, man. It says, and that does not betray the trust of the people by condoning or employing public officials that engage in illicit narcotic trafficking. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, which is one of the most evil motherfuckers on this earth, man. I hate you Edomites, man. Yahweh Shemiah Shah is about to destroy you people off the face of the earth, man. And you were going into slavery, thus said the Bible, man. Mike Pompeo wrote in a bulletin touting the reward. And excuse my language, but you get sick of this degenerate behavior, man. This dishonest, ingenuine, serpent-like behavior that these people continue to display day in and day out. Putting a $15 million on this man's head. Like, how is this illegal at all, man? Considering that majority of the countries on the earth actually consider Nicolas Maduro as the legitimate president of Venezuela. By what means is this legitimate? All right. And so as I said earlier, we're going to get into some scriptures, but as I said earlier, this is because the natural resources that Venezuela has. All right, predominantly the oil. But Venezuela is loaded with different natural resources and fine minerals that America wants to use to control the power structure of the earth. All right, and continue this wicked empire. But the Lord is not going to allow that, man. All right, and eventually, America is going to go to war with Venezuela, and when they do, it's going to cause, it's going to be, I'm not going to say cause because it can be an addition. That the war with Venezuela can happen after, the initial act of World War III has been implemented. I don't know which one will come first. I'm assuming it will be another action that will cause the Americans to invade Venezuela. And when I say another action, I'm assuming that, and I speak as a man, that they will be in the midst of martial law in America and in the midst of trying to establish a foothold possibly in Greenland. But we know for sure in the Middle East, a stronger foothold, possibly go on a military offensive to take back Syria, or to take Syria, may I say. Iraq is standing up against America, so possibly to try to subjugate Iraq. We know America wants to subjugate Iran, so any one of those things can transpire before Venezuela. But what we do know is America is going to try to invade and either invade or completely overthrow the government of Venezuela. All right, as long as they can get their hands on those natural resources, that's the goal, you know. So this is Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people." All right, and so what concerning the first verse, and we'll break it down set by set, it says that decree unrighteous decrees. All right, and putting $15 million on Nicolas Maduro's head is an unrighteous decree, and putting up charges about cocaine. You Edomites profit off of the cocaine that comes to America. All right, and where's the proof? You bringing up charges against this man. Where's the proof? No proof whatsoever. Just like it was no proof against Soleimani. And it's come out that Soleimani was actually on a peace mission as a diplomat to Saudi Arabia. Okay, between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And so it had nothing to do with him killing U.S. soldiers, this and that. You know, these people are filled with hypocrisy, man. These are some devils, man. Esau, Edom is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We're going to get that. All right, it says, "And they write grievousness which they have prescribed." It says to turn aside the needy from judgment. Right, because with the sanctions that America has on Venezuela right now, is hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans are starving and struggling and sick because of American sanctions. And those are Israelites. You know, majority of those people in Venezuela are Israelites. All right, it says, "And to take away the right from the poor of my people." See? It says that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. All right, and that fits the so-called white man to the T, man. The widows. Let's deal with America. So-called black woman is a widow in America, and she's the prey. What does Esau do? He rapes them. He indoctrinates them and teaches them how to raise their children in the incorrect manner. Teaches our women to be whores. And you niggas think you're not going to pay for this? Yahweh Shem Shah is about to destroy you niggas, man. Wherever you are, if you in the bunker, if you in a submarine, a ship, all right, a base, wherever you are, the Lord is about to deal with you, man. All right? Yahweh Shah is about to deal with you for all this wickedness that you've done to his people. And then what? You kill the man. You put us in mass incarceration. All right, you kill us through your different devices, whether it be biological warfare, whether it simply be just shooting us down. All right? This is what Esau Edom does, man. This is what the so-called white man does. All right? This is what he exercised on the earth. This is what he has exercised in his rulership. And this is how he has maintained his rulership, through deceit, lies, and murder. All right? Matter of fact, let's get Job. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, And who possesses the earth? It's Esau. And what does he do? Wickedness, man. All right. It says he covereth the faces of the judges thereof, meaning he iconoclasm, basically. All right. He covers the identity of the Israelites. He calls us African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Indians instead of calling us by our true names. Because we are the judges of the earth. All right. It says, if not, where and who is he? So if it's not Esau, if it's not the so-called white man, then who is he? Who is the wicked? Because his track record speaks for itself. All right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 14. Shalaki, give me 1 second. All right. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 14. And it reads, it says, behold, he travaileth with iniquity and have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. And what is the falsehood? Those false allegations or in those charges against Maduro, which they have not brought forth any evidence backing their claim. Okay, they're simply saying that because everything they've tried so far has not worked. The economic sanctions to cripple and hurt the people and starve the people out didn't work. Trying to put up their puppet Juan Guaido, all right, didn't work. Trying to manifest a military coup with the generals, all right, didn't work. The drone strikes that they tried didn't work. So they continue to try. Everything that they have tried has failed, and they've lied on this man time after time after time. Okay, everything they've tried has failed. So if this doesn't work, only way I can see them, the next step is going to be a military invasion of Venezuela, which the Americans are not prepared for. They will be stretched thin, trying to hold down the sedition in America, because sedition is coming. Sedition is coming in America. Trying to hold down the sedition in America, they're going to need troops, martial law troops. Bam. That's one group. That's one arsenal that has to tend to that. Now, trying to have a full-blown military invasion of Venezuela. Now, of course, they'll probably try to fund Colombia and whatnot to possibly assist them. But Venezuela has allies too, and Venezuela has a strong military. If you were to fight Venezuela, you're not just going to be fighting the military. You're going to be fighting the Venezuelan people. It's going to be an all-out war of epic proportions. America can't deal with that, considering that if they get into a war with Venezuela, then China is going to make certain moves and land grabs and take advantage of the situation. Russia is going to take certain strategic moves to take care of the situation. And Russia and China is going to fund the Venezuelans because they don't want their investments to go bad. So they're going to fund Venezuelans with food. They're going to fund them with weaponry. And a long war with Venezuela will ultimately end to the decimation and destruction of America. America can't handle that, man. All the bases that they have to keep up throughout the earth, those bases are going to be ransacked. Right? They're on sitting islands. They're going to lose a lot if they go to war with Venezuela. They're not going to be able to win that war. And this is not 1970s Vietnam. We're in a totally different time era. All right? We're in the time of World War III. All right? Verse 15, it says, he made a pit and digged it. So all this mischief and all this wickedness that he's done, he's done it. All this mischief that's been manifest, he has done this. The bankers, the politicians, all of Esau who's in on this, the American Edomites, Okay? They have done this. All right? This is their fault. All right? It says, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. Right? So this ultimately is going to come back to bite them. Mark my words. This is ultimately going to come back to hunt them. All right? Because ultimately, as I said before, Venezuela has a formidable military. All right? And they're loyal to their leader, Nicolas Maduro. All right? And so America, in order to topple Venezuela, this is not the Panama deception. Venezuela is not Panama. America will have to literally come in with hundreds of thousands. America literally will have to invade Venezuela with millions of troops. 100,000 is not going to do the job for Venezuela. 200,000 is not going to do the job for a country the size of Venezuela. When you look at the strategic, the geography alone of Venezuela, trying to make it through the jungles and the certain mountainous terrain in Venezuela, it will not be ideal for a sheer military invasion. Now Iraq was different. Iraq is flat land. Iraq is desert. It's tank country. It's easy to conquer. A landmass like that is easy to conquer with modern weaponry and modern military strategies. Venezuela is a completely different story. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Venezuela might be bigger than Iraq. Don't quote me on that. Matter of fact, let's see here. Let's see here. Shit. I just want to see the image. Okay. Right here we have Venezuela is not a small country. Dang, this is not clear. It's like you go to a more clear image. All right. So right here you have Venezuela at the top. Venezuela is a large country. That is not a small landmass to conquer. Now you see right below Mexico, right next to Colombia, left of Colombia, that's Panama, which is very, very small. And America invaded Panama and was successful, but it's not a Venezuela. All right. Now let's look at Venezuela in comparison to Iraq. Okay, so see, Venezuela is bigger than Iraq. All right, you see Iraq and you see Venezuela, and it's a more difficult. Anybody, if you understand military strategy and military, basically, when you understand the importance and significance of terrain, you would know that Venezuela is far more difficult to conquer, all right, than Iraq off of terrain alone. Okay. And it has some very hefty allies, as I said before, in China and Russia. All right. And if there is if there's a literal invasion in Venezuela, I will argue that quite possibly certain of these other Bolivarian countries quite possibly could side with Venezuela. All right. Mexico might quite possibly side with Venezuela because Trump was speaking about doing some airstrikes in Mexico on drone strikes in Mexico. So America and Mexico really not on good terms. You have Mexico. You have Cuba. Cuba might end up playing a factor in the scenario in that matter. We'll see. We'll see ultimately how this thing plays out. Certain things I'm saying is speculation. Ultimately, the Lord will reveal it in due season. All right, this is Psalm chapter 7, verse 16. It says, His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Right. So all of the violence that you seeking to perpetuate and have perpetuated, all right, is going to come back to you via how? Ultimately through the ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles. Right? And I would argue that Venezuela also has missile capabilities that quite possibly could reach America. If not now, possibly in the future. Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, is a nuclear power. So it's not hard for these nations to fall out with America. But think about it. Mexico is not on good terms with America, but Mexico has been a vassal of America, or may I say, it's still a vassal to a certain extent, but it's been an obedient vassal, may I say, to America for years. But now they're not on good terms with America, All right. So I'm going to finish it off with Isaiah, the 33rd chapter. It's Isaiah 33, chapter 1. It says, Woe to them that spoileth, meaning destroy and take advantage of, and thou was not spoiled. So you're trying to spoil Venezuela and take the resources of Venezuela. But what did Venezuela do to you? Nothing. What did the Israelites do to you? Nothing. All right? It said, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt seize the spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Right? Because these nations are going to turn against America, ultimately. All of these nations. Because everybody's sick of America's bullcrap. America created the coronavirus in the laboratory. They spread it in China. Now the whole world has it. America is pushes democracy, this homosexuality, this fast food. America's pushed nothing but death on this earth, man. And these nations starting to realize that, hey, man, America is not as all of it, it made himself out to be. And it's actually the exact opposite. So they're going to turn on America, man. All right, and they're going to side with Russia. Okay, that's prophecy. That's biblical prophecy. They're going to stay upon Magog. All right. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory and worship to His Majesty, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Bashim Kakadash. Shalom.